Hi, I'm Mercy Khongsai, the Vice President KSO-Ukhrul. I'm compelled to issue a clarification regarding the 9-minute, 42-second long interview given by Mr. Ramreichan Keishing, the President TKS, on Wung Media. This clarification is not intended to escalate the ongoing issue, but rather to place on record the chronology of events mentioned by Mr. Keishing, and I would do so as supported by facts, documented context, available and verifiable evidence. Hence, I would go point by point. First, Mr. Keishing claimed that the statements made by Mr. Tony Singh contain discrepancies and have created confusion in Manipur and Nagaland. Let me state this very clearly. Mr. Tony's interview aired on Zonet on 15 May 2026 was based on facts drawn from verifiable and publicly available sources. Further, in relation to the 13 May ambush, his statements were based on information already placed in the public domain through the official statement of ZUF. Therefore, the attempt to personally vilify him for expressing facts is entirely baseless and undermines the democratic rights to freedom of speech. Second, Mr. Keishing questioned why all incidents, including 13th May ambush, are being blamed on the Tangkhuls. Let us be precise and honest here. From the very beginning, the Kuki-Zos have been very clear on one thing. We have identified those communalizing the 7 February Litan Sorikung incident, those escalating tensions, and those benefiting from this facade of confusion. However, never once have we ever blamed the entire Tangkhul community for any incident. In fact, Kuki Inpi Manipur has categorically clarified this position in its press communique of 5th May 2026, and it is therefore extremely misleading to portray our stand as anti-Tangkhul when our concerns have consistently been against specific actions and actors. Third, Mr. Keishing claimed that 16 Kuki-Zo individuals were released in the exchange of 15 May 2026. This is factually incorrect because only 14 Kuki-Zo hostages, primarily women, were released, and the remaining 2, Mr. Mangzelen and Boylen, were not released at all. They escaped the captivity and managed to return home with the assistance of security forces. You see, accuracy matters in time, especially in times of conflict, because misinformation only deepens mistrust. And as I talk here today, 14 Kuki-Zo men, out of which 3 are students, are still held captive. Fourth, Mr. Keishing narrated the genesis of the present conflict by referring to 29 December 2020 incident, Winger driver incident of 2025, and of course the Litan Sorikung 7 February incident, while indirectly suggesting communal pattern. So let me provide the necessary and complete context of each past incident mentioned by Mr. Keishing. First, to understand the 29 December 2020 incident, one must understand the background. So Mr. Zim and Mr. Achan, both Tangkhul individuals, were members of the Litan Sorikung Double Lane Compensation Committee. Because of their involvement, they were accused of siding with Kukis amid the long-standing land dispute between Mr. Hemkutang Baite, chief of Litan Sorikung, and Mr. Bungray Kasar, headman of Sikibo. Subsequently, Mr. Zim was abducted by Mr. Bungray and his associates, Importantly, the people of Litan irrespective of community, protested against the abduction of Mr. Zin. Though the OC Litan police station initially failed to secure the release of Mr. Zin, the SP Ukhrul later, felicitated the release of Mr. Zin. Following this, on 29 December 2020, Wung Media and his associates attempted to abduct Mr. Achan in a boastful manner in broad daylight. Witnessing the scuffle, citizens of Litan Sarekong, again irrespective of community, intervened to stop the abduction. During the altercation, Wung Media was assaulted by the crowd, but it was the Litan Sarekong village authority and elder, Mr. Alal Baite, who helped Mr. Wung Media escape safely to Litan police station. A week later, through the initiative of then MLA Mr. Alfred Arthur Kangam, a compromise meeting was held at Litan police station, attended by leaders including MLA Leishio. Both the chief of Litan Sarekong and headman of Sikibung were advised to pursue legal mechanisms for resolving their land dispute and to refrain from portraying it as a communal issue. This is important because facts clearly show that the 2020 incident was purely rooted in land dispute, not ethnic hostility. Eventually, the matter was adjudicated twice in succession, and on both occasions, the verdict unequivocally favored Mr. Hemkutang Baite, chief of Litan Sarekong, apparently leaving Mr. Wung Media of Sikibung harboring an unreasonable grudge against Mr. Hemkutang Baite. And as for the winger driver incident of 2025, the occurrence took place in the middle of Mongkot Chepu on 26 June 2025 around 7 p.m. Primarily due to reckless overspeeding by the winger driver in a residential area and poorly conditioned stretch of road. After hitting a pothole, the speeding winger splashed muddy water onto scooter riders approaching from the opposite direction and triggering confrontation that escalated following the driver's condescending remarks. The matter was later taken up at Litan police station and resolved largely in line with demands from Tangkhul's side, including compensation initially fixed at 5 lakh, later reduced to 2 lakh, with the chief of Mongkut Chepu and 3 others compelled to sign a pre-drafted agreement. However, the incident was fundamentally a case of road rage and reckless driving, not a communal issue. Now coming to the so-called incident of 7 February 2026, Litan Sarekong incident, alleged to have triggered the ongoing conflict, I will not dwell into details as the matter has already been extensively discussed and the statements of those involved are publicly available. It does not change the fact that it was a drunken brawl, but what remains evidence, however, is that Mr. Bungrekan Kasar, the headman of Sikibung, appears to have conveniently and successfully exploited the incident to effect the removal of Kuki-Zos from Litan Sarekong through force of numbers, an outcome he had failed to achieve through lawful means. So cherry-picking past incidents and interpreting them exclusively through a communal prism to justify the ongoing conflict is fundamentally misguided. What is often projected as the origin of the present unrest may equally be seen as the consequence of prolonged suppression and condescending treatment endured by the minority community at the hands of the majority community. Further, Mr. Keishing claimed that only two Kuki-Zo villages are situated along NH 202 and that no Kuki individual has ever been assaulted by Tangkhuls along along this highway stretch. Again, this is absolutely incorrect. Let's keep this straight on record that there are three Kuki-Zo villages situated along the National Highway 202, namely Litan Sorikong, Mongkut Chepu, and Shanghai. Moreover, on 2nd March 2026, a Kuki-Zo man of Mongkut Chepu, traveling with his wife, mother, and children, was assaulted at Namthi Lok along NH 202, which is between Mongkut Chepu and Shanghai, by three Tangkhul men from Reha village. Therefore, to suggest that no such incident ever occurred is factually misleading. Fifth, Mr. Keishing indirectly questioned the sincerity of the Kuki-Zos regarding peace by saying peace cannot emerge from lies and hypocrisy and asked peace at what cost. If we genuinely examine who pursued peace, the answer lies in facts, not in rhetoric and selective narrative. Let me recount the meetings held since the beginning of this conflict, especially because I personally attended the first three meetings. So, 8 February 2026, Litan Police Station meeting. This was the first meeting in relation to this ongoing conflict. The Tangkhul side was represented by Mr. Mashungmi Zinkhe, whose conduct from the very moment we met was hostile, openly hostile and condescending. In the presence of senior officers like IG Angam, DIG Ningsem Vasum, SP Babita, SDO Ukhrul, and officers of 8 Bihar Regiment, negotiation could not meaningfully begin due to threats made by Mr. Zinkhe and his TKS colleagues, including statements like, "Now you see what we will do." Considering this, the officers present there suggested reconvening the meeting on 9 February at 11 a.m. With Mr. Zinkhe's parting words were like, "Let me see if we meet calm and peaceful or not." As said by him, this reconvened meeting never materialized because barely an hour after we left Litan police station, burning of houses began. And let facts speak. The first house that was burned belonged to a Kuki-Zo man, Mr. Lam Khuthang Baite, and his house was burned around 11:50 p.m. on 8 February. Then we talk about 9th February 2026 meeting convened by Government of Manipur. Despite everything that happened on the intervening night of 8 February and 9 February, the Kuki-Zo leaders still, came for dialogue, hoping for solution to this meeting led by the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister Mr. Dikho, attended by MLAs Mrs. Kim Neo Hangshing, Mr. Ramuiba, district officials of Kamjong district and Ukhrul, and then civil society leaders including TNL, TSL, Kuki MP Ukhrul, KSO Ukhrul, only seeking for resolution. While the Kuki-Zo leaders approached the meeting with an intent toward resolution and de-escalation, the Tangkhul side remained preoccupied with land claims and historical assertions. Shockingly, even amid the high-level meeting in the presence of senior dignitaries and under heavy security deployment, Kuki-Zo houses were set ablaze again by the Tangkhuls, an incident that eventually triggered retaliatory blank fire from the Kuki side. This left the meeting with no concrete solution. Then we talk about, 14th February peace meeting. After exactly 4 days with zero initiative from the Tangkhul side, finally Working Committee TNM and Peace Working Committee from the Kuki side reached to a temporary agreement or temporary understanding with just 2 points. Yet to this day, those points remained largely unimplemented from the Tangkhul side. Now, on 4th May 2026, there was a meeting convened at Kohima by Nagaland Joint Christian Forum. Again, at this meeting, the proposed ceasefire agreement ultimately failed after the refusal from the Tangkhul side to sign the ceasefire agreement. Importantly, Pastor V. Sidhau was among the Kuki-Zo delegates who participated in this peace effort, attempting to bridge the gap between the Tangkhuls and the Kukis, only to lose his life in the tragic ambush on 13th May 2026. Therefore, when peace is questioned, we must ask honestly who repeatedly came to the negotiating table and who repeatedly obstructed peace progress. And finally, to answer the question, peace at what cost? Peace cannot be achieved through forceful dominance, intimidation, propaganda, selective narrative, suppression, and communal superiority. Peace will only come through mutual respect, recognition, acceptance, tolerance, and an honest commitment to equal and respectful coexistence. Peace had its chance. Unfortunately, we missed it. But I would say it is not yet late. The Kuki-Zos have consistently stood for peace, but never at the cost of our dignity, our identity, land rights, nor yielding to arrogance, domination, and superiority complex of a selected few. Thank you.